Up yet. Sometimes it's a little delayed. Yep,
Hello.
there you go. I feel like I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to get. I should have downloaded it a while ago. For some reason, I was thinking it was already on my system, but it wasn't. This is my first time.
Yeah, after the pandemic, we think Zoom's on everything.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's hard to undo that or put that genie back in the bottle.
It sure is.
Just I'm guessing it's so much more convenient for you.
Oh, well, convenience. That's an interesting perspective because, you know, yes, I'm going to go with yes. This is convenient. I can come in here on my office on a Saturday. I can have a conversation with somebody. You know, we can learn a few things about each other. And then, you're right. After this, I'm going to go have some crawfish and beer with my wife and friends. So,
Sounds awesome.
yeah. Convenient. Where are you located?
I'm in Stockton, California,
Okay.
but originally I'm from Arizona. So no matter how long I'm here, I'm my heart's not here.
Yeah, well, my wife is from Stockton. She spent a lot of time there in that area. And my family is from the San Jose area, Santa Cruz, and that kind of area.
Okay, has it been a while since you've been back here?
It has been a while. My brother, did you see the stuff about my brother in the videos?
Yeah, I did get to see, not in depth, but I did get to see that he was in an accident.
He was in an accident. We saved his life. We spent $5 million putting him back together. And he lived another 15 years after that accident that he would have never lived had we not intervened. But he's actually buried up in that area.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry
Well,
for your
it was
loss.
sad. It was about 3 years ago, but the accident was 20 years ago, and so he got 15 years of extra life, and then but yeah, when I go to California now, it's just to sit around and hang out with my brother for a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, it's beautiful, but there's just certain things that other parts of the country that provide for you a certain sense of I don't know what to call it, just security
Sure.
that sometimes here you don't get that sensation. And it's a lot. I mean, in Arizona, though I didn't carry, but just the knowledge that, hey, if I need to, I can have a sidearm and there's no issues. If for whatever reason I want to walk around my neighborhood, and I know, like my neighborhood, I live close to the border. It's not the illegals I'm worried about; it's the wildlife.
Yeah.
So my neighbors aren't going to freak out because they see me with a firearm, just for my personal protection.
Right.
And
Sure.
and here, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean,
California, you're right. You don't know what's going to happen. So, are you currently in the construction industry?
I left the military. I retired in 17, and I decided, I'm going back to the trades, because I wanted to start a business with my brothers. They've been in the trades for 30 years, doing foundations and primarily concrete. So, and most of it is commercial. And my intent was, hey, let's take advantage of the fact that I'm a veteran, and let's get into the 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 federal government contracting side of it. Though I didn't know how, but I started doing research, and I think we talked on the phone where I came across these people but all they were is a registry. All they were assisting me with was register my company name in SAMS. But aside from there, I was still in the blue as to, okay, now what? Now how do I get this contract? And just
Yeah,
by
the
chance,
internet is full of dead ends for that kind of stuff. I mean, full of it.
a
So
lot
how'd
of
you come
rabbit holes.
across my thing?
You know what? It showed up on Facebook
Oh,
on
okay.
on I guess the algorithm hit on some because I look at a lot of construction stuff on in the marketplace. I look at construction items, things that I may need for my business, and it happened to come up. And since then, I haven't seen you on there again. I don't know if it's a one-time deal.
I don't know if it's
And
a
then
one-time deal either. I don't know how any of that shit works.
neither do I. I think you and I are pretty close to an age group,
Yeah.
and
We could program the VCRs when we were kids. We
seems
saw
like
the
magic,
CDs and the DVDs.
but we just can't figure out.
Yeah, but now it's starting to slowly get past us.
Yes, exactly. Especially when I see my grandchildren who are tiny and they're able to figure out this stuff, and I'm like, okay, all right, it's beyond me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when I got here, I was like, well, I'll get a license. That's the first step, and because my brothers were tentative. Once you've been in a worker for so long, there's a certain comfort to it that you're afraid to step beyond that and
Yes,
take that.
is.
It's like stepping over a cliff.
Yep.
It's like, well, maybe there is a bridge or maybe there isn't, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Sure.
So there was that. Since they weren't doing it and they were tentative, I decided, well, I'll do it on my own. So I went, I checked it out, and they were like, well, no, you need 4 years of experience in the trades. I said, well, I have that. I've worked in the trades, in my early 20s before, just dedicating myself to full-time military. And I said, well, it doesn't count. It has to be within the last 10 years. So there go 4 years. I waited it out like a prison sentence till I was able to get the license. And even then, now the market's starting to come down. And I was like, oh, well, here we go. And
not only that, but you don't need any of that shit to do what I do. It's so heartbreaking.
Right. And now that's what I'm seeing, Sean, is that suddenly I'm like, wow, I didn't need to wait all that time. I could have done this as soon as I hung up the uniform. I could have looked into this. But, I don't like to mind myself in the negative.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. It's like I spend 5 minutes crying in my beer and then I move on.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking about that because, unfortunately, with family, where you create a sheet as to when you look at a situation and that you're going to get you're wanting to go into, and you say, well, what's the pros and the cons? When you talk to family, somehow they turn pros into cons, and it's I think a lot of it has to do with a shared life experience.
They do. They care about you in a way that nobody else can care about you, for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. And unfortunately, it's an echo chamber that's where you live around, and sometimes you have to just step beyond it. And
that's right, and it impacts your brain as to what you can accomplish and what you can really do in this world, and it's tough to break out. The way I explain this is that we are all a product of our environment. We are products of who we are exposed to in life. And
exactly.
And yes, people can break out of that, but for the most part, people become what they are surrounded by.
Yes, and a lot of that, in the term that you use is head crash. Absolutely. And in the Army, we called it paralysis by analysis.
Sure, same shit.
That you overthink something and you cannot, the fear will paralyze you.
Yeah.
Till something else comes along and removes that decision.
You and I are kindred spirits, man. You tell me what kind of song and dance you need to see. I'll get you into the federal market, and because I tell you people, this isn't a sales pitch conversation. There isn't at the end of this thing. There's no if you buy now. There's no PowerPoint to this thing. It's just two guys talking, having a conversation, and you just decide: am I the route you want to go? And if I am, great. If I'm not, it's cool having these conversations. There's no pressure on anything, and
you mean you're not going to give me the Amway speech?
No.
Speaking of the 90s.
No, there's no Amway speech at the ends of these things. In fact, I tell people honestly, at this stage in my career, I only work with people that ask me please. I've already done $1 billion worth of work. I've already made my money. This isn't a money grab. This isn't I don't need your $5,000. This is about me giving back to the community, building something cool, doing something great for our country, putting great federal contractors to work. That's what this is about. It's pretty much all positivity.
And Sean, because the way I was looking at it, and part of my trepidation for taking that next step was, I don't have that much experience as being a contractor. I mean, I'm just getting my company off the ground here within this last year. But
if it's not clear in my videos, I know about jack shit about construction. Okay? If you asked me to go hang a 2x6, you wouldn't want to walk under the 2x6. This isn't a business about figuring out the construction of things. There are people out there that know construction. There's a good roofer in every town. There's a good electrician in every town. What this business is about is putting together the team to accomplish the task and becoming the middleman of demand between what the government wants and what they need. So this is, look, you and me, we're not, I'm just telling you, looking at you and looking at me, we're not going to compete with other people physically in this world. And that's not what you and I were designed to do. We're going to compete mentally. We're going to make phone calls. We're going to put together deals. We're going to follow instructions. We're going to follow a plan that's already been done by many people behind us, and we're just going to work through that plan. That's where you and I compete in this world, okay?
Right. In looking at, and I got that point from seeing the testimonials in a lot of your the past participants in your program, in how they were explaining pretty much the same thing. And I was like, well, I've done this already. I did this for the military for so long. Coordination to put training together, coordination to
That's
put,
it.
whatever.
You got to stay on top of shit. You got to wake up in the morning. You got to make a few phone calls, in the afternoon after your nap. You got to make a few phone calls. Make sure you're getting texts in from the job site. Yes, it's a coordination effort to accomplish a task.
Yeah. Are we staying on schedule?
Yeah.
First and foremost, did you get the job? Once you got the job, what's the impediments to that job? And
I call it. But in fact, I love that you said that. What are the impediments? You're the first person to ever say that, and it has inspired me to talk about my position on that. Most everybody that you talk to in business, they create a things to do list. My things to do. And then they go, okay, A, B, C, D, and I've got all this shit I need to do. Well, when I was coming up in this business, I talk about it in the workshop. I got slammed with 20 jobs at one point, and they were all in different stages of work to be done. So, this job's got in the submittal stage. This job's got 4 contractors out on site today. This job is almost finished. This job is just getting started too. This job, it was 20 jobs. It was handed off to me. I was about 29 years old, something like that. And the 2 guys that loaded me up with all this shit, Kevin and my dad, they were like, all right, go get it. Done. Boom. I'm like, what the fuck, man? How am I going to do all this? Okay? So, the first thing I did was like what you would do. Okay, things to do. I got all these things to do. And then I realized, shit, maybe I should just check with technology. So, 20 years ago, Microsoft Outlook was like the new thing, and it had this little task thing. So I put all these things in tasks. And I don't know if you ever played with it, but I did 20 years ago. And so I loaded all this shit in the task thing, and it allowed you to put a time on it. So, okay, that one's going to be on Thursday. This one's going to be on Friday. This one's going to be... Okay, so I scheduled it a little bit. Then all of a sudden, I'm doing shit, right? I'm doing things, and that little thing beeps up. Hey, you're supposed to be working on this. And did I do that, or did I hit snooze? Well, now all of a sudden that fucking thing starts going ding, 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 ding every fucking 5 minutes, and I'm going, this is not a tool. This is not helpful. Okay? So okay, back to the drawing board. I got to come up with a better plan. So what I came up with, and for some reason the name of it is escaping me, but I invented a name for this. It'll hit me in a minute. But let me describe to you what it was. On Monday morning, what I would do is I'd go into my computer and open up a fresh Word document. And I'd list the jobs. So we listed our jobs as R dash, like Reitmeyer and Associates or something like that. So it was R-101. R-102, or 102, R-103. So these are different job numbers, and I'd list out the job numbers that I had. Then what I would do is I didn't say what needed to be done. What I listed is what needed to be done in order for something else to happen. So as an example, because you said impeding, right? As an example, you can't, even though we're replacing an air conditioner, the submittal has to be turned into the government before the air conditioner can even be ordered. So installing the air conditioner isn't on the list. What's on the list is what's impeding getting the air conditioner done. Okay? So what I'm saying is submittal on the AC. Okay? Then I'm saying the schedule for the job needs to be turned in to the government, right? Okay, so you got these list of things. But then also on here is negotiate deal with AC company. Okay? Now, some of these items are 10-minute items and some of these items are an hour item. Can you tell based on the list what the 10-minute items are and what the 1 hour item is?
No.
Okay, well, I'll just tell you, I broke them down that these were all 10-minute items, and then these were all 1 hour items. Okay? Things that would take longer than 10 minutes. Okay?
Right.
And what you do is, when you get up in the morning, you go down and you do all the 10-minute items you can. Because if you're doing little tasks that take a few minutes and you're getting them done in the morning, you feel like you've already accomplished something.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then, when you hit into the afternoon, you start hitting your tasks that take longer than 10 minutes. Okay?
Yeah,
Now, hold on. When I got this list done, and it would usually be about 4 or 5 pages in Word, I would print it out and I would staple it. And then that became my working list for the entire week until next Monday. So if something got crossed off, it literally got crossed off. If something got added, it literally got added. And so at the end of the week, that 5-page document was tattered and written up. And then Monday morning, 8 a.m., I'm sitting there in my Word document recreating it for the following week. What does this do for you? It keeps you off the fucking computer. Computers will suck your fucking life away. From the perspective of a project manager, somebody who's trying to get accomplished, okay? And because, it was worse 20 years ago because people were sending these emails, forward this to 10 people and all your dreams will come true, and click on this cute cat video and all this shit. And it was all new, so we were all clicking on all that shit, not knowing what the fuck was gonna happen, But the idea is that computers will suck your fucking life away, and those are dead ends to accomplishing real world tasks. And you can accomplish real world tasks off of a 4 or 5 page Word document that's printed out and you're working from it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, because one of the things you mentioned, and we may be just lucky by chance that we were born into the timeline that we were born into, in that we can utilize this as a tool and not as a diversion.
Right.
Because I see the generation coming up now, and we all say that, this generation or whatnot.
Every generation, yeah.
But they are so entertained by videos and whatnot, TikToks and this and that or the other, that it's like, my goodness, is it that interesting that I'm missing out on this? And it doesn't,
entertain your life away, yeah.
Yeah, I don't, and I fail to understand it. For me, it continues to be a tool. But I'm like you, yeah, those rabbit holes are very tempting, So yeah, I need to get away from the computer as much as possible to feel accomplishment.
Yeah. Anyway, there's 5 minutes of free education for you.
Oh no, thank you. Hey, I was going to ask you on that. And this, I know this is going to be covered in the class, but as far as your subcontractors, do they need to be listed with the government, or they can just be any Joe off the street?
Any guy off the street, as long as his guys are in. I'm going to say this carefully. As long as they're not undocumented, so they don't have to be U.S. citizens, okay?
Right.
But they can be green card, not undocumented.
Yeah, because I tell my brothers that. It's like, don't think as the federal government, if you do a job for the federal government, you have to be licensed with the state, because it falls under a different jurisdiction.
That's right. That's head trash. It's head trash. People think of government, but it's federal government's different.
Yeah. I said they don't have to abide by the local.
Nope.
There's certain things that they do have to abide by, but
it's
the federal
government.
Eminent.
No, Ruben. Let me clarify. It's called eminent domain. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They don't have to. No local codes can be enforced on them.
Yeah, because we actually did some work for the Bureau. Which one was it? For the Bureau of the Department of the Interior.
Yep, that's
over on Alcatraz. We did a.
Alcatraz is run by the National Park Service. I've done work out there.
Right.
Yeah, I've done at least 2 jobs at Alcatraz.
Yeah, we put, if you're ever there again, we put up the wall right there, and that divides the shower and the book, their little store that's there.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we went up 2 stores. That was a hell of a job.
Yeah.
But a lot of, and that we never saw an inspector. It's because they don't belong here. They're inspectors.
The main building out there, Building 65, we re-roofed it.
Okay. When was this?
20 years ago. Long time ago.
Really? Because they're getting ready to re-roof it again. The one the above the hospital.
Okay.
That's because we primarily worked in that area over,
gotcha.
and that takes you down into the showers. Showers are on the what they call the basement.
Okay.
So, interesting place.
Yep, sure is.
Yep, get on on the ferry in the morning, and you're there all day.
Well, keep in mind, when I say we did the job, we had the job. We hired out some local roofer out there. I have been to Alcatraz, but only as a
visitor.
As a visitor, yeah, just going with my wife to go see Alcatraz, go on the tour. But it's cool to look up there and go, we did that,
It is.
Keep in mind, I got a job years ago, the St. Louis Arch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's operated by the National Park Service, and they put a job out to recarpet it, the visitor area up at the top where there's windows on both sides. and I did that job and had never been there. But then one day later, years later, I was in St. Louis, and I went up there and looked at the work that I had done, but I had never seen.
Yeah, and that's where my confusion was. Now that you mentioned that, and I was hesitant because okay, I need to stay within my field of expertise. So this is going to be concrete, and I need to stay there. But I'm seeing now it's no. You just all you got to do is get the contract, put it out for bid.
That little carpet job, dude. I bid that thing for $34,200. It took me 5 minutes to put my bid together. I sent it in along with all my other bids that I sent in. They called me on that one. I asked them if I could call them back in 24 to 48 hours. Have you seen these videos where I talk about that?
We call it the stall, the fourth step in the bid process.
Yeah, and so that's how I did that. And I stalled, and I found a local carpet guy that would do the whole job for $5,000 for the labor. And then I paid $7,200 or $400, somewhere around $7,000 for the carpet. Got the two of them together, got the carpet up there. The whole thing was done for 5 plus 7, and I got it for 34. And something like 4 years later, I went up there and inspected my work.
Yep. See, because that's one of the mistakes I made. I started researching SAM and going into SAM. And it's like, well, there's all these vendors and everything else, and are we required to buy from these people? Does the federal government? It's like, now I'm learning. No, that's not.
It's it's shocking to most people how easy this is, and I always tell people, well, fuck yeah, it's easy because I don't do things that are hard.
Yeah, I've been doing that for my whole life, and the where you said the physical side of it.
Yeah, if I tell people, if I had to go out into your world and have relationships with people in order to get work, I would fucking starve to death, because most people I meet I don't like. Most people I meet I have zero interest in, and if I had to kiss somebody's ass to get a job, I would never have a job in my entire life. I need to be able to operate in full and open competition on a level playing field. You put me on that, now we're gonna get some shit done.
Sean, we're way too simpatico, man. He's like,
I figured that out in the first minute of the video here.
Yeah. One of my things I love to do is I love to cook for my family, whatever. Sure. And it's just an experience, of bringing that type of pleasure to them. And they ask me, well, what? I mean, you cook really good. Why don't you open up a restaurant? Because I don't like people. Love my family.
Yeah.
I like people.
No, I love it.
So yeah, that's where I'm at now, and I'm with you there. It's like, yeah, it's the coordination part of it, and I've been there and I've done that, and so I'm not scared of that aspect of it, and it's just that next next
I'll
step.
just tell you, if you're watching all those videos, and I'm sure you're imagining on the other side of this video that, this guy's the real deal. It's consistent. His message is consistent across everything. And you don't see any videos in my Facebook group of guys jumping in there and going, oh my God, it's a scam. I mean, you don't find any of that on the internet when you Google me on somebody else's site, This is the real deal. If you invest with me, I pull you kicking and screaming into the federal market, and we start going after and getting a bunch of federal contracts. I mean,
and that's what I like. A lot of these testimonies, the same thing. If it's the $100,000 letter, if it's the assistance with the legal matters, if it's because you guys are the subject, what we call the SMEs in the military, subject matter experts. Who do you turn to? It's like when we were kids. What you learned about sex was with your buddies, your jerk off buddies that do the same thing that you did, but that's who you learned it from. But no, there has to be a subject matter expert who explains things to you the right way, how to guide you to the path, because you've been there and you've done that. You're not reinventing the wheel.
No.
It's like just follow it. Like, and it's not like, no, don't put your spin on it. Follow it to the letter of the as letter states.
Yeah.
Send it forward.
And then look at your results and make adjustments accordingly. That's really all you have to do. Just make little course corrections, and Bob's your uncle, as they say.
Right, and exactly, and it's like I'm not what I'm seeing from the testimonials was like, okay, they didn't sell us pie in the sky. They taught us how to go about it. Now we had questions coming back from there, and they assisted us in going forward. If there was a bump in the road, they're there. But a lot of them success. Yes, we had success with this program, and we're coming back to it because.
Well, look, after 12 years of doing this, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't successful. I mean, the word would get out that that's a dead end too.
Right, and I'm just, the only thing I regret is not having come across your program much sooner. So now my only question is, when's your next class?
It's right now. If you invest with me, it's instantaneous. It looks like this. Let's see, where's it at? Right here. That should pop up on my screen. Oh, you're not seeing it. That should pop up on my screen right there. You go to gcexperts.com/the workshop. And if you need a SAM registration, you just click this little button, and that adds the SAM registration. And my wife will do your SAM registration if you need that. When you click this button and you hit go, it redirects you to this page.
Okay.
And that is literally the training. And if you want to see a demo of some of the training, I'll hit play for you if you want.
Okay, I've got a question for you. There was a company, I was supposed to be relocating to you. Not had nothing to do with the license, but I registered a UCI for that, or UEI for that company, and I have a cage number for it. So I have that one registered.
If you're going to use that company and it's registered with SAM, you have a cage code, then you're good to go. I mean, it might need to be updated or something, but I'm sure if you went through that process before, then, because I tell people in these videos, all of this shit can be done for free. A bunch of people fuck it up, and if you don't want to fuck it up, use my wife. Okay? But
I didn't do it by myself. I paid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, then you might want to pay I think my wife charges $300 to do an update. So,
okay, because what I need to do is change the address. I'm going to change the address, my address in Arizona.
Yeah. So just look.
Back there.
Don't click the SAM registration on that page.
Okay.
Okay. Just when you're ready, get with my wife. Give her $300 or whatever it is.
Great.
You guys have that conversation. I don't really give a shit. To me, it's like, just get the guy SAM registered so I can start working with him to get federal contracts. To me, that's a one-time deal, and I don't really care about it.
Right.
So yeah, ignore that. Work with her. Get your SAM registration up to date. But then pay attention to the videos, because that's what I'm teaching you to do every day.
Okay. Yeah, in my other now, see, I'm having a senior moment here, but I had a question. It flew away.
We are in no hurry. In fact, I'm going to get some water while you think about it.
Okay.
Do you want me to repeat what I said to help spark your memory, or you got it?
No, I've got it, and it had to do with corporations. Is it hurt you? Does it matter?
LLC, corporation, doesn't matter. I mean, if it were me, I wouldn't register that shit in California just because you got state income taxes. I'd register that shit somewhere else.
Well, I was hoping for Nevada, but I got to move to Nevada. I got to be a resident of Nevada for 6 months, so the taxes don't apply.
On a corporation or
Yeah,
LLC?
on a corporate.
Okay, Dave, write this phone
No,
number down. Write this. Hey, hold time out. Write this phone number down.
Give me a quick second.
No,
here.
you know what? Because I might post this as a video. Let me text it to you. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Okay, that's my wife's personal cell phone number.
Okay.
Okay, call her and ask her about that. Because she'll know.
Okay.
I don't know, but she'll know.
Okay. Okay, absolutely. That was and that was. I think that was really it.
Yep, she'll know.
But yeah, just looking forward to taking the course and getting in depth into it.
All right, man. I'm here for you if that's what you want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm ready to take the plunge.
All right, dude. Let's do it.
Okay. All right, John.
All right. Have a good one, Ruben.
You as well. It's nice
All right.
meeting you.
Yes, sir.